Hi everyone, Aaron Bowen over in the Abla library here. I apologize for the technical difficulties with the video. The first one I recorded included what I was doing on the screen, but when I inserted the video into Blackboard, it wanted to show only the recording it had made of me, and not what I was actually doing on the screen. Hopefully I have fixed that issue, and I know what to do in terms of making sure you all have access to the video now. So I apologize for the technical difficulties. Hopefully you all didn't waste time watching the first video, and that you see this second one here. Beyond that, let's just dive in. For Module 10, describe the fundamental differences and similarities between the American approach to maternal and child health compared to another country of your choice. There are all kinds of resources that you can look at, of course, to help address this topic and develop your own answer to U.S. policy in comparison to policy from some other country. But I'm going to show you some statistical data about different countries of the world that you could use to highlight the statistical variation between two different countries and show where policies seem to be having an effect on the statistical measurement of different countries of the world with regard to maternal and child health in particular. First one I will highlight is the CIA World Factbook. I know some of you may be leery about the fact that it's published by the CIA. I honestly don't know why the CIA is the authority behind the publication of this information. I will say, however, I think it's a very good source and reasonably unbiased. I might question the trustworthiness of the World Factbook's entries on, say, Israel or Iran or North Korea. Countries that the U.S. has a particularly close affinity to or adversarial relationship to. I might question that, but if I'm going to look up, say, Finland or Nigeria or South Africa, a country that is allied with the U.S. but isn't a particular preferred partner or adversarial enemy of any sort, I think the information is just fine, and in fact is very good in many cases. Here's the website. You can select a country from this drop-down list here and look at information about the country, statistical data about the country. But what's probably of most use to you all from this page would be the Guide to Country Comparisons. And what that gives you is this list of different categories of information. People and society gets you, among other things, the birth rate, the maternity mortality ratio, the infant mortality rate, life expectancy at birth, total fertility rate, health expenditures, and HIV/AIDS, which is, strictly speaking, its own topic, but does come into play with maternal and child health if someone is pregnant with HIV. So, here you have the maternal mortality rate, deaths per 100,000 live births, ranked from the different countries of the world here. So you can look at the maternal mortality rate in comparison, different countries in comparison to each other. Same thing with the infant mortality rate and the other statistical categories that I noted. It's all there for free on the web. The World Factbook is not a library database of any sort. It's just it's a government document. It is available on the web for you to use. If you do use it, you need to cite it, of course. But beyond that, it has no copyright restrictions because it is a document published by the United States government. The Europa World Yearbook, by contrast, is a library database. So you have to get to it through the library webpage. So webpage, databases, and use the drop-down list or the A to Z database list right there. And the Europa World Yearbook. Here is its main page. You can look through it if you want. I don't think the most useful information is here in the main interface, though. Instead, I would recommend going up to the Countries and Territories tab up at the top of the screen, and then you can look at different countries of the world. So United States, right there. Click on it to get information about the country. But under the country statistics, you have health and welfare statistics. The statistical data here is less well targeted than what the World Factbook offers you, but it does get into more of the health expenditure data there. So if you got into cost of healthcare or health expenditure of any sort, this data would be useful as well. And you can look through the rest of it. This is the main part of it that I wanted to show you, but the rest of the country profile, area and population, if you got into studies of population numbers in comparing the U.S. and another country, this statistical data right here would be of use as well. So, that is the Europa World Yearbook. As I say, it's a library database, so you have to go to it through the library webpage. It's not available on the web for free. It's proprietary, so it's behind a paywall that WSU pays for and then turns around and opens up access to all of us. And if you got into census data at all, the American Fact Finder, published by the U.S. Census, is, in my opinion, the best way of going about looking through census data and collocating different data points from within the U.S. Census. It gets into all kinds of health information that you can tabulate and look at in terms of statistical reporting on measures of maternal and child health in the United States. Other countries, many of them do conduct censuses. How good they are, how much data they report, how reliable that data is, depends on the individual country. Some are definitely better than others. A census data comparison would be an excellent way of looking at maternal and child health in the United States in comparison to another country. But that is contingent on whichever country you choose conducting a statistically worthwhile, methodologically worthwhile census. And as I say, plenty do. Others attempt it, and some fall short. So that much of a comparison in part depends on which other country you choose. So I have in the past searched for foreign census data. It is definitely a process, and very contingent on which country you're looking into. So if any of you would like to pursue that, let me know. Let me know which country interests you to do your foreign country U.S. comparison, and we will look into it together and see what we find and see what we can learn about how this other country conducts its census. So just let me know. That is something I would be glad to assist any and all of you with. Beyond that, I apologize for the tardiness of the video, me getting my schedule confused, and the technical difficulty that getting it to you guys has produced. So I appreciate your listening, and I will see you with the 5th video out of our 6 next week. Talk to you then. Bye.